Yeah, this part two of the lesson. Let's keep going. Let me see here. Matter of fact, let's go back and hear some of the video. Let's keep going. So I got to say fair use under the copyright statute of 1976. I'm not monetized, so this is let's keep doing it so we won't get no copyright violation. Fair use of the copyright statute.
Fair use, as defined in the copyright law, permits limited use of copyrighted material. This includes things like criticism, news reporting, or research. It's a legal defense. And courts consider the purpose, nature, amount used, and the effect on the market on a case-by-case basis.
There you go right there. See how they did me? See, there go the statute right there. So fair use. I'm not monetized, strictly for educational purpose, such as comment, news reporting, teaching, and comment and criticism. So let's get it. All right, part two of the lesson. Let's go. So it's probably gonna be a 4-part lesson, so I can get all my precepts into play that I got for the lesson. So let's go. Let's hear 5 more minutes of this video. Beautiful video, man. These the experts on that geopolitical thing. I like to listen to them and be edified, so I can just link everything up to through the spirit with the scriptures.
Guys, what are these consequences that the region and the world are recognizing with a possible war with Iran? Because many have who watch this program have speculated that the United States is plunging itself back into a major Middle East war that could have far-reaching global implications, much farther than perhaps wars in the past. Even we're talking about World War, maybe consequences. What are your thoughts on these?
Wars are very unpredictable, and you don't know who is going to be making what kinds of decisions. Iran is within weeks of being able to develop nuclear weapons, I believe, with the 400 kilograms of enriched uranium. And if they want to, they could make a dash for nuclear weapons. I doubt that could be stopped in any way by any bombings or anything else. It's quite clear that everything Trump has said about the bombings last summer are just BS, because if indeed Iran's nuclear program had been stopped, why the hell are we about to have a war now when Trump is saying no nuclear weapons is the big issue? Because what they did last summer didn't accomplish anything. Okay? So this is first point. This could go nuclear. I don't think the Iranians
it's going to go nuclear.
I really don't. They've been spending the last 14 years to say we don't want that. But it could. And if they were attacked, it would surely change the discussion inside Iran between hardliners and softliners and all the rest. So that's one possible outcome. The second possible outcome is on the conventional side. It's clear, and again, I'm obviously not a military authority, but from what I have been able to understand of the events of last June, Iran demonstrated it can punch through Israeli air defenses. It did not aim for any very consequential targets last time, but if it chose to do so, it could do so because it has hypersonic missiles, because Israel's so-called Iron Dome is of limited efficacy. It's real, but it's of limited efficacy. Israel is a small, compact country, highly vulnerable to this kind of attack. And the idea that everything's predictable and you have one strike and Iran is crippled and can't strike back seems absurd. And I think the lesson of last summer is that it is absurd. Third point is obviously that Iran probably could close down the Straits of Hormuz and create a tremendous bottleneck in the international petroleum markets. We've been there before. It's actually where I started my economics work back in the 1970s, because I studied the macroeconomics of the two oil shocks of 1973 and 1979. Well, that would be something that would be a little bit perturbing to Mr. Trump, who, above anything in this whole world, loves the stock market and his personal wealth. And this, I can tell you categorically, would jeopardize all of that. And so Mr. Trump might not like to see the end of the American bubble in the stock market that could come with a major shock to the global oil industry. Another point is that Iran has friends. Iran is not isolated in this. And those friends are many. Some are nuclear armed. This is just the kind of thing that can absolutely lead to a disastrous cycle of escalation. Nobody can say that that's not possible. And when I think of who's in charge in the United States, I think that they are so poorly equipped to understand any of this that it's a bit terrifying.
Long ago, the gods created beasts to protect humanity, but people grew greedy and turned those beasts into weapons of war. One man stole the secret of that power from the gods, the power to control the creatures they once made. That theft changed everything. The gods vanished.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask Professor Sachs, has the Trump administration at all heeded the lessons of just, 6-7 months ago, where Iran did show that it had the capabilities? It was struck pretty hard, and it did have the capabilities to defend itself. Is the U.S. at all able to heed this? Because right now what we see is, despite talks of talks, there is still a massive military buildup. The United States just held drills, I believe, in the Red Sea with Israel. And Trump administration just passed, I believe, and pushed through, of course, over Congress's head, $6 billion worth of weapons to Israel, ostensibly including these air defenses that the Wall Street Journal says they need so badly. What do you make of this?
Clearly, we have a very chaotic government in the United States. The president has a nanosecond attention span. He's not bright. He's impulsive. He's not able to understand these issues. We have amateur hour in our Department of War, so-called. We have a lot of instability in American politics right now because there's a war on the streets of Minnesota and Oregon and other cities around the United States. So none of this is a stable, rational process right now. And that is what makes it so unpredictable. People say that's Trump's style. I don't think it's style. I think it's his ignorance and impulsivity, personally. It is what it is, though. It makes the situation fraught with danger and very...
It's Bible prophecy. He probably
and we should
like
recall,
popcorn.
of course, this is one of the central points, that when Iran was negotiating last summer in what were 5 rounds of negotiation, the 6th round was to take place in Oman on June 15th, 2025. And on June 12th, Israel bombed Iran, obviously with the U.S. full support. So this means that even when you announce negotiations or you make statements about progress in diplomacy, with this government, it doesn't mean anything. Trump's hallmark is his word is meaningless. I think everybody is adjusted to that, although it's very hard to adjust to that. Usually when you hear a leader whether you like what they say or not, you can use that statement meaningfully, but with Trump, you can't. I don't know what the Iranians do or don't understand of that. It's hard to say. They're very nice people. I've met them on several occasions. They have wanted diplomacy for years. The diplomacy has been met with a slug in the face. They still want diplomacy. I don't really know in this sense what they discern from all of this. What I discern from all of this is that it's a profoundly unstable moment. And the U.S. word means nothing in this context, unfortunately. But what could matter is a kind of multilateral approach where countries that are obviously recognized by the United States to be very important for the United States, Turkey or Saudi Arabia or the Emirates, get into the act to basically create a framework that is not just bilateral and subject to the whim of Mr. Trump.
Yeah, and this time around we've seen, I think Jordan, as we speak, came out also saying that they're not going to let their territory be used for a strike. Saudi Arabia, the UAE have done the same. This is different. Of course, the last attack was a surprise attack. Now that it's not so much of a surprise, we see the world reacting, I think, in a very different way, especially the region. Professor Sykes, I wanted to ask you, though, about, given the, there's, as you said, the influence, the control, even if we might say, of U.S. foreign policy, of Israel, the lobby, etc. I don't know if you saw the latest Epstein file, document leak or dump that said, through an FBI report, that Trump is compromised by Israel and that Jared Kushner is the brains of his entire operation. I mean, what does this portend then? Because we all know that even though the U.S. obviously has had Iran in its crosshairs for quite some time, now you add this Israel element where Israel seems very desperate to attack Iran, have Iran attacked. What does this portend? What does it say also about the United States and its governance right now, given all these crises that are surrounding Trump and the United States as a whole?
Of course, the facts of the Epstein files show that this was a Mossad operation, a high-level Israeli operation that basically suborned a very significant part of the American political class, including Trump and including others. And Epstein's all over the place with the Ukrainians, with the Israelis, with security issues. This was not some freelance pedophile. This is an operation of Mossad. And that's telling. Of course, no one's telling the full story, but what we see is really quite amazing how much that this has implicated not only the U.S. political class, but across Europe, across Norway, Britain, Poland, other places. It's all pretty stark. We need a little bit of transparency here. It's not good to have the President of the United States and other leading politicians suborned by this kind of sting operation. It again is probably part of the explanation of what has happened. Who killed Mr. Epstein? Who turned off the film at the last moment? Who knows what about all of this? This is what the last few weeks really raises, and these last few days of more files suggest this is not a foreign policy run on the surface the way that it pretends to be run. This is a network that is pretty deeply unpleasant, and its grips on American policymaking are rather stunning. And they have already gone to the extent of the genocide in Gaza And now they could go to the extent of war with Iran. And God help us, they should not do so.
Yeah, and oftentimes, Professor Sykes, when we look at these dangerous escalations and this momentum now toward a U.S. war with Iran, we miss some of the forest from the trees or the trees from the forest. And I wanted to ask you about the implications of how Trump right now, and of course throughout his administration, has used the concept of even talks and negotiations as a weapon. Like, what are the implications of this? Because this is something that the Trump administration has almost made a hallmark of its foreign policy. The art of the deal actually being almost like the art of a kind of.
Let's go and get some scriptures here. We'll come back to them in a minute here. Let's go into this thing. Okay. So let's go back. Okay. So wars are unpredictable. Decisions escalate fast. Iran is weeks away from nuclear capability. That's been that not you, but whatever his name is. Bombing did nothing. That's what Jeffrey Sachs says. So no nukes narrative is inconsistent. Conclusion: this could go nuclear. So now let's filter through with prophecies. So wars are unpredictable. From a carnal standpoint, that's true. From a prophetic standpoint, that's false. Okay, scriptures. Let's get the scriptures. Let's go to the scriptures. So Isaiah chapter, let's get that first. Isaiah chapter 49. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me here. How much time we in? Okay, I got. Spend the rest of this segment breaking it down. Let me see here. So let's start back at Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start back at 1. Jeremiah chapter 45, verses. So Jeremiah chapter 45, verses 50, verse 3, it said, therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he has taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Teman is a buzzword for Esau, Edom, and the Edomites that's ruling the earth in wickedness right now. You heard all the what my man was bringing out on, or Jeffrey Sachs was bringing out on them. It says, surely the least of the flocks shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Verse 45 said, therefore, hear yea the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Babylon, talking about America, Ben Netanyahu and Mossad, they run America. They control America. A foreign agency is control of your government. It said, and his purposes, that he have purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. So these Chaldeans is, modern day Chaldeans is these witches and warlocks, Amalek. Okay? It says, surely the least of the flocks they the Amalekites, it says, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. See? So Edom and Babylon mirrors the same counsel, same method. The weak bring mighty low. Destruction follows divine plan. Okay? They go to Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 45 through 48. It said, the Most High shall bring down the proud and make their hearts afraid from the sword. Say what? From the sword. It said for the sword. It said for the sword. Hold on here. It said for the sword, famine and plague shall fall upon the earth. All nations shall witness their end and tremble at his power. He shall deliver the righteous and confound the wicked. See, forever. Hey, this is what's going to go down. So patterns repeats itself through history. Judgment is precise, not random. Weak rises, proud fall. Edom, Babylon share the same fate. So this unit shows clearly the judgment on Babylon is a replay of Edom's fall, proving that Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai moves in pattern, not chance. Okay? So this unit will seal what I just said. Timon, Edom, Babylon equal America. The Chaldean is a cult ruling class. The least of the flock equal instruments of judgment, all under one council. Okay, Timon identified as Edom. Edom rules through system, through hegemon, that dollar. The dollar is they rule nations by that dollar. They hegemon. They dollar that, but they trying to do away with it now and go digital. But they need Iran. Okay, it said America Chaldeans practice sorcery. Judgment follows one council. So the primary scripture I'm gonna give for that is Jeremiah chapter 49 verses 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Timon. Surely the least of the flocks shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. See, so hey, the Lord finna have all them nations. Putin gonna lead the charge, and they gonna shoot them arrows. All them nations gonna come up against America and Israel. But Israel gonna be rebuilt, cause the elites gonna be down there in their bunker. Them and their kids and their kids' all going head on into slavery. That's what's gonna go down. And I'm hoping the Lord preserve me for to be one of them to go down there and get them out of them bunkers. Okay, it said that he have taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he have purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flocks shall draw them out. surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. See? So Teman equals Esau, Edom. Babylon continues Edom's rule. The Chaldeans operate spiritual wickedness. One council governs both. See? Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and I'm going to read to 9. 6 to 9. It said, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. That's talking about us, the prophets. Starting with the elder apostles, bishops, and the like-minded men on down to myself. And therefore, saith Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Okay, so this is what's going down. So pollution reaches fullness, silence from heaven's ends. Vengeance replaces delay. Babylon's cover is removed. See, that's what's going on right now. So Teman is not geography only. It's Edom's power base. Okay, Babylon is Edom's final empire expression. The Chaldeans are the sorcerers, the Melechite operators, and hidden hands. See, the least of the flocks are raised to draw them out, not negotiate. Same counsel, same judgment, method, same end. Okay, hold on, I want to do something real here. Let's go right here. I want to see something here. Let's go back here. What time? Okay, I got another 5 minutes on this segment. So yeah, man, the Lord been ready to reach out and touch the wicked. Let me see here. Let's go here. Let me see here. So the end time prophecy series, the global fear conditioning. So the modern world is increasingly driven by fear narratives surrounding wars, economic and technological control. Many leaders speak peace publicly while preparing conflicts privately. Scripture shows fear is often used to move population toward dependence on systems. This that order out of chaos. Okay, that order, when you look on that dollar bill, hold on, let me see, let me get it real quick. Hold on. Let me see here, where that. Yeah. So hold on here, let me see here. So the dollar bill breakdown, the thing, the beast system, religion of money, what I see on the image, the United States of America, George Washington portrait, the Federal Reserve seal, Treasury seal, serial number, control code $1, the back, the Great Seal imagery, the eagle, say what? The eagle with shields, arrows plus olive branch, stars above the head, constellation. In God, it said, in God we trust. One, what God? You're talking about them. So the United States of America, a prophetic empire, this is not just a country in prophecy, it functioned as mystery Babylon. Revelation 18 verses 3, for all nations have drunk the wine of her wrath, wrath of her fornication. Say what? The wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth committed fornication with her. See, all these kings, they committed fornication with this hoe. So the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. So the key, the merchant waxed rich equal global commerce under one system. Revelation chapter 18, verses 11. Let's get that. Revelation 18, verse 11. It said, and the merchants of the earth shall weep. Say what? Shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. See, so all these other nations, man, they gonna that's in bed with her gonna weep. So meaning the whole earth is tied into her economic bloodstream. See, the dollar is the bloodstream. See, the Federal Reserve, the real power behind the throne. You see, it said on the front of you have the Federal Reserve seal. That is the money power, not the president, not Congress, not election. The money printers that print the money. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7, it said the rich ruler over the poor, and the borrower is the servant to the lender. That's the whole American system in one verse. Borrower, nations become servant, debt become change, currency become command. The $1 doctrine of one. This is spiritual. The bill screams one repeatedly because the end goal is one system, one economy, one control structure. Revelation chapter 13 verses, let's get that. That's why I want to go. Let's get Revelation real quick. Revelation 13. Verse 15, I'm going to read down to 17. It said, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Are they not trying to go out to Iran? They want Iran to bow down. It said, and he caused of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, that's their charagma, in their right hand or in their forehead. Verse 17, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark in the name of the beast. Say what? In the name of the beast and the number of his name. See? Verse 18, hear the wisdom, and let him that have understanding count the number of the beast,